You know, a lot of people don't know that we're sisters. You know, that's something I never talked about in the beginning because I didn't want it to be a crutch. You know, I didn't want people to be like, oh, you know, that's her sister. I didn't want that to be my accolade of mine. But now that, you know, I've solidified my spot, then I go ahead and talk about it. But a lot of people don't know it, though.
I think for a lot of years I was disappointed and angry, and I wanted, you know, my dad to like read me a bedtime story and be there and do all of the things that a daddy is supposed to do.
Nia had a lot of people shocked when it came out that comedian Summer is actually her real sister. Same father and everything. Most fans had no idea. You never really see them together, no public moments, no interviews mentioning each other, nothing that would hint their family. For years, neither Nia Long nor Summer openly talked about being sisters. At first, people assumed they kept it quiet so they could grow in Hollywood on their own without constant comparisons. But as more details came out, it started to feel deeper than just career strategy. Reports suggest the distance between them may be personal. Nia has always been very private about her life. She doesn't put her business out there and keeps her circle small. Still, many were surprised that she has a sister in the same industry and rarely acknowledges it publicly. Most people only learned the truth when Summer revealed it during a radio interview with Divine Martino. While discussing her journey in entertainment, she mentioned that her sister happens to be Nia Long. That revelation caught listeners off guard. The two share the same father, poet Dautry Long, but they have different mothers. Their father had Summer first, but his relationship with her mother reportedly ended not long after she was born. A few years later, he began a relationship with Nia's mother. That relationship also ended in divorce when Nia was just 2 years old. After the separation, Nia's mother moved from New Jersey to Los Angeles, which created physical and emotional distance within the family. Because of that move, the sisters did not grow up together. Summer remained closer to their father and was able to build a relationship with him. Meanwhile, Nia has spoken in the past about feeling hurt over not being able to spend much time with her father after relocating. That early separation may have shaped the distance people see today. That resentment didn't just stay between Nia and her father. It reportedly spilled over into her relationship with Summer too. For a big part of their young adult years, Nia wanted distance. She allegedly chose not to acknowledge the connection publicly, and that silence spoke loud. By the time Summer was ready to really step into the spotlight, Nia Long had already built a solid name in Hollywood. Summer could have easily dropped the "that's my sister" line to grab attention and boost her profile. That would have brought instant headlines, but she played it smart. She understood that if she wanted real respect in the game, she had to stand on her own 2 feet, not walk in as Nia Long's sister. That move showed long-term thinking. There was also the Hollywood PR angle. In that world, silence is rarely random. Celebrities don't just forget to mention family, they choose what fits the image they're crafting. Nia has always been calculated about her brand. Her career leaned into elegance, desirability, and a bit of mystery. Meanwhile, Summer built her reputation on bold, unfiltered comedy and saying exactly what's on her mind. Two very different vibes. From a branding standpoint, Nia may have felt that mixing those images could blur the picture she worked hard to create. But according to Summer, branding wasn't the only issue. Even though they had crossed paths a few times, there wasn't a deep sister bond. They grew up in separate households, raised by different mothers, living completely different lives. Because of that, they didn't naturally see themselves as sisters, in the traditional sense. Nia made things even more confusing when she finally acknowledged the connection in public. Nia Long posted a side-by-side photo of herself and Summer and captioned it, "The funny one in the family," tagging Summer directly. Fans immediately started talking. It looked like a soft launch of their sister bond. Summer even liked the post, which made it seem like everything was cool. But then, just as fast as it went up, the post disappeared. No explanation, no follow-up, nothing. That quiet delete had people raising eyebrows and wondering what might have been happening behind the scenes. In Hollywood, posts don't just vanish for no reason, and the sudden move only added more mystery to an already complicated situation.
Oh, yeah, we have the same father, so yeah, my dad is proud.
Are you guys close?
We speak from time to time, but I won't be babysitting her kids, no.
You so silly. You all right with me, girl?
That's how it is in life. I tell people all the time, we have the same father. We're not necessarily sisters.
Later, when their father, Dautry Long, passed away in 2020, Nia publicly honored him and mentioned Summer again. In her tribute, she wrote, "My father was a master of words. an educator, a mentor, and a hero in his community. After her father passed, Nia Long sat down for an interview on The Breakfast Club and opened up about the resentment she had carried for years. She admitted that holding on to that hurt stopped her from forgiving people sooner and from spending real time with them while she still could. That kind of honesty surprised a lot of listeners. She made it clear she had been doing personal growth and learning not to live in anger anymore. Nia has said she's more open now to letting people into her life. But from the outside, it doesn't look like Samor suddenly became part of her inner circle. There doesn't seem to be public drama or messy back and forth. It's more like quiet distance. Nia reportedly doesn't feel there's a strong need to build something that was never really there to begin with. Part of that comes down to how they experience their father differently. For Nia, their dad mostly lived in memories shaped by separation. For Samor, he was physically present for much of her upbringing. When siblings grow up with two completely different versions of the same parent, that gap can be hard to close. It's not always about hate. Sometimes it's just about lived experience that doesn't line up. A lot of people online have pointed that out. One comment summed it up: "I don't see drama, I see life and distance." Others said they respect Samor for never trying to write off Nia's name when they clearly didn't have a tight bond. There's no public bad blood, no loud fallout. That sister connection just was never fully formed, and honestly, not all siblings are close. Even people raised under the same roof can grow apart. Both women built their own successful paths, separately and on their own terms. After her father passed, Nia Long spoke openly during her interview on The Breakfast Club about the weight she had been carrying for years. She admitted that resentment shaped more of her life than she realized. It wasn't just about missing moments with her father. It was about feeling like something was taken from her before she even understood what it was. When a child grows up without consistent access to a parent, that absence can turn into quiet anger. Nia explained that holding on to that anger delayed her ability to forgive, and it also kept her guarded in other relationships. That kind of emotional wall doesn't just fall overnight. It becomes part of how you move, how you trust, how you connect. She shared that losing her father forced her to reflect in a deeper way. Regret has a way of making things crystal clear. She realized that time is limited, and that pride or pain can cost you moments you'll never get back. That awareness pushed her to start letting go of old feelings. It didn't erase the past, but it shifted how she carried it. Even with that growth, the situation with Samor still feels distant. There's no public feud, no interviews throwing shade, no messy headlines. It's more subtle than that. It's the kind of distance that comes from never fully building a foundation in the first place. Nia has expressed being open to healthier connections in her life now, but openness doesn't automatically create closeness. Relationships need shared memories, shared struggles, shared time. From what's been shared publicly, that simply wasn't their reality. They didn't grow up side by side. They didn't navigate childhood together. They didn't build that automatic sister rhythm that some siblings naturally develop. Without that base, adulthood can feel like two separate paths that just happen to intersect by blood.
A beautiful time in my life because I can actually put everything into perspective and now it all makes sense.
Right.
And I feel more free and alive than I have in the last 10 years because I have understanding. And I've forgiven myself for not forgiving people sooner in my own life.
The difference in how they experience their father seems to sit at the center of it all. For Nia, he represented distance, longing, and what could have been. For Samor, he was physically present during key years of her upbringing. When siblings carry two completely different emotional narratives about the same parent, it creates a gap that isn't easy to explain. One child may feel abandoned while the other feels supported. Neither perspective is wrong. They're just different. And those differences shape identity. They shape loyalty. They shape emotion. If one sister associates their father with pain and the other associates him with guidance, that emotional contrast can quietly affect how they relate to each other. It's not dramatic, it's layered. Online, many people have taken a surprisingly mature view of the situation. Instead of pushing for conflict, some fans have said they don't see drama at all. They see distance. One comment that stood out said, "I don't see drama, I see life and distance." That perspective acknowledges something important. Not every family story needs to end in a tearful reunion or a public display of closeness. Sometimes the most honest outcome is acceptance of what is. Others have pointed out that Samor deserves credit for never trying to leverage Nia's fame to elevate her own career. In an industry where name association can open doors fast, she chose to build her brand independently. That decision speaks to self-respect and long-term vision. At the end of the day, not all siblings are close. Even those raised in the same household can grow apart due to personality differences, life choices, or emotional history. In this case, the sisters were raised in completely separate environments, shaped by different maternal influences and guided by different versions of the same father. Expecting them to suddenly operate like lifelong best friends may not be realistic. What stands out is that neither has publicly attacked the other. There's no ongoing negativity, no public blame game. Just two women who share DNA but built separate worlds. And sometimes that's the real story. When you really step back and look at the full picture, this situation isn't some explosive Hollywood feud. It's layered, personal, and honestly more relatable than people want to admit. Family dynamics can be complicated, especially when distance, different households, and different life experiences are involved. Blood alone doesn't automatically create closeness. Shared time does. Shared struggles do. Shared memories do. And in this case, those pieces just weren't fully there. Nia Long built her career on grace, control, and protecting her private world. She has always moved carefully, choosing what the public gets to see. That kind of discipline doesn't happen by accident. Meanwhile, Samor built her brand on boldness, honesty, and saying the things other people are too nervous to say. Two strong women, two different lanes, two separate identities. It's not about one being right and the other being wrong. It's about different paths forming from different upbringings. What makes this story stick is the silence. Not messy interviews, not online back and forth, just quiet space. In a culture that thrives on public drama, their situation almost feels unusual because it isn't loud. There's no public disrespect, no social media shade, just a clear understanding that their bond was never deeply formed. And sometimes that truth is harder for people to accept than an actual fight. The public often wants reconciliation arcs, emotional reunions, or dramatic fallout. But real life doesn't always wrap itself up that neatly. It's also worth recognizing that growth doesn't automatically rewrite history. Nia has spoken about letting go of resentment and choosing peace. That's powerful. But personal healing doesn't require rebuilding every relationship connected to the past. Sometimes growth means understanding why something is the way it is and accepting it without forcing it to look different. That doesn't mean bitterness, it means clarity. And clarity can be quiet. At the same time, Samor's approach deserves acknowledgement. She carved out her own lane in comedy without leaning on a famous last name. In an industry where shortcuts are tempting, she chose the long road. That says a lot about self-confidence and independence. Whatever their personal distance may be, professionally, they both stand solid on their own foundations. In the end, this isn't a story about rivalry. It's a story about perspective, about how two people can share a father yet carry completely different emotional maps of him, about how distance in childhood can echo into adulthood, and about how not every sibling relationship is meant to be close, even if the public expects it. Sometimes there's no scandal hiding behind the curtain. Sometimes it's simply life unfolding in separate directions. So before you dip, make sure you smash that like button if you're riding with us, tap subscribe if you're a real one, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single messy update. Trust me, you're gonna want to be here for the next video.